Timberlake just can't stop making the joke it's gonna be May. Keeps waking me up. He'll text it to me. He'll send me letters under my door. Wow. It's like, okay, I get it.
It's May.
JT.
What do you want?
It's May. Only for like another day or so,
Leave me alone.
Calm down. He's like the Easter Bunny from hell.
And be like, I heard they're remaking Scream. Is this what it's going to be? Instead of I'm in the house, it's gonna be May.
Oh man, someone's got to check up on him on the next month when the next month comes around, because he might not be okay.
Yeah. He just cries throughout all of June. It's not May anymore. Like the last day of June is like, but soon it's gonna be May.
I would love to do a spoof horror movie trailer now for It's Gonna Be May.
I think we should just cast Justin Timberlake in the next Batman movie as Calendar Man.
That would be perfect.
God, there's so many lame villains in his repertoire.
I might have that.
Honestly,
might be
that should be the
King.
villain in the Matt Reeves
or is
one
that
coming
Condiment
up.
King. I don't
There's
remember.
Condiment King.
Yeah, everybody knows
Condiment
King.
King,
It's a Lego
yeah.
Batman movie, but he was in one episode of the animated series, in a couple comics because of who the fuck is Condiment King. Anyhow, Justin Timberlake, Behind the Hype. Hi, welcome with Brian Dressel, Chewy Darso, and Jonathan Hardesty. There we go. I got it in there, right?
Yeah, we did it.
There was no natural place to stop in that random nonsense. But I enjoyed it. It was good.
That's the kind of content we provide for you.
Yeah, random nonsense. Yeah, it's great. So we did a whole month of Justin Timberlake movies, and we found out some stuff about him. I would say some strengths, some weaknesses. But I'll say throughout all of them, it was always a good time. I had fun with these.
I would say his strength is his smile.
Oh, he's got a
And
killer smile.
His weakness is his scowl.
Not a great scowler.
No, it's
Nope.
like,
Yeah, no,
oh,
you're right.
JT, I can't take you seriously.
He gets grumpy and it's like,
are you mad?
Oh, look at Mr. Grumpy Pants. But yeah, so it's been fun, and I look forward to the end of this episode where we kind of do our little wrap up because it was a good time. But this week we were talking Friends with Benefits, the rom-com that Chewy saw in theaters.
I don't remember why or who I was with.
It's just so not your style, but
I mean, hell, this was when I was in Chicago. It could have been a free screening. I went to a lot of those back then. But yeah. I mean, I saw these type of movies when I was in Chicago because I would just get free screenings all the time. And I had all the spare time because I was in college and I had nothing better to do. I had no responsibilities.
We went to a few of them, like me and my roommates, but we just didn't have the patience that you did. Like, you'd be fine just going to the theater and hanging out waiting for it to start, where we'd be like, it's boring.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, okay, so I need to get there 2 hours early. I'll just bring a book. It'll be great.
Yeah, no, we didn't like that part.
Yeah.
But, anywho, before we go into Friends with Benefits, we can do a very quick where have they been doing, because mine was going to replace this movie today, but it just didn't work out, and I'm kind of bummed about it. But I watched Trolls. I know in the beginning of the month, Chewy watched Trolls, and I was working at the time. But this time, I got to watch it, and I might be the biggest fan of it in the household.
Yeah, it's pretty fun, isn't it?
Corin enjoyed it for the most part. He kind of leaves about halfway through, and he'll be like playing with his trucks and his bus, and he's having a great time. And then he'll come back in towards the end, and I'm just sitting there engrossed the whole way through. I'm like, oh, I really like this. And Corin's left the room,
fun,
and I'm
isn't it?
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm just like, this is a good time. Like the story's good, the acting is good. JT is great in it. Andy Kendrick is great in it. Like, it's just a well-made movie.
It is.
And I'm just kind of like, huh? Who'd have thought?
Yeah. And it's got a pretty good song, the Put Your Hair Up thing.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Oh, yeah, I love it. It's great. And then the gorilla song and the whole experience was very, very entertaining, and I loved the hell out of it. And I feel a little embarrassed saying that, but I was quite a Trolls fan. And then I'm like, well, fuck it. Then for the next week, we'll just skip Friends with Benefits and we'll do Trolls World Tour. That way we can all see something new and it can be topical. And then I realized that it's $20 to rent and not $20 to own. And I understand why people are doing it. I'm not judging you if you've rented it, of course. I just would rather pay $20 to own it, and I'm just going to wait till I can do that. And I think that's like the end of next month. So who knows? We might throw it back on the calendar just to watch it. But
Trolls World Tour.
Yeah.
It'll happen. There's enough actors and things in there that you'll be able to rope it in at some point.
At some point, yeah. I would do an entire month just for Rachel Bloom, even though she hasn't been in that many movies. But it'd be fun.
Yeah.
It would be a fun month. But John, did you have anything with Justin Timberlake from this for this week?
Yes, but not nearly as fun and not nearly as good. I watched Wonder Wheel on Amazon.
Oh, how was that?
What's that?
How was that?
Well, there's a lot of problems, but the one thing in there that's not a problem is Kate Winslet, who just proves that she's an amazing actress through and through, despite the material. But Justin Timberlake is in this prominently, even though he kind of ruins he doesn't feel right for the setting, because the setting is 50s at the pier, and he just feels modern throughout the whole thing. And for 3/4 of the movie, he is the narrator, and he talks to the camera, and it's kind of weird. And then the rest of the thing just plays out like this melodramatic play that you might have learned in high school, with where this older wife feels unhappy in her marriage with a schlubby husband, and they bicker back and forth, and then people come in and upend their lives, and there's a death, and it's just this feels like something that would have been in a play, and it was kind of staged and shot that way too, for better or worse. But
this is Woody Allen, right?
Yeah.
So Woody Allen usually has the Woody Allen part still in the movie somewhere, played by another actor. Was it supposed to be Justin Timberlake being the Woody Allen character?
Maybe, but it was hard to tell in this one. Although there were a lot of dialogue things that kind of, whether he meant to or not, kind of out him a little bit. And the father character, the story starts off with this father's estranged daughter from a previous marriage coming to hide from mobsters, and he dotes over her, and the wife gets jealous of that attention, and there's some complicated familial things there, and you can kind of tell that his presence is a part of the movie, even if there isn't a stand-in character necessarily.
Interesting.
And I think maybe it was Justin Timberlake, his character, but because of his very modern feel and the fact that he's using Woody Allen dialogue, I don't know, it was a weird mix, and not one that I was really enjoying all that much. Except
that's kind of a bummer.
Except the cinematography was great. The lighting was really interesting, even if half of it wasn't motivated. But it was beautiful to look at. Everyone was so just shot so gorgeously, and even the grotesque lighting to signify drama was all done really sharp. It was very sharp and very interesting. But the movie didn't live up to the rest of that, and JT was fun to look at, but he had a big scowl moment in the end of this movie, and it just did not work.
That's why it works then.
Mr. Grumpy Pants showed up.
He can smile, but his scowl is so aw.
Yeah, he ends up saying how dare you to Kate Winslet's character. I'm like, first of all, you don't talk to Kate Winslet that way. Second of all, it's so cute that you're trying to scowl.
You saying how dare you to her, she's just gonna bend you over her knee and spank you.
Oh man, she acted the hell out of the movie though. She put in her work for it. So if anything, I would watch it for her.
It's usually Kate Winslet though.
Yeah, I mean that's.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that she did a bad performance.
I don't think she has it in her.
Yeah.
There's her. The dare. I dare you, Kate Winslet.
Well, I don't know. Was she in a movie 42 or 52 or whatever that was?
No.
Was she one of the people in that?
She would never be attached to that trash.
I thought she was one of them in there.
Talk about one of the worst experiences I've ever had watching a movie.
It's just hard to watch.
What would be worse to watch? Movie 43 or the hard to watch starring Tracy Jordan?
I mean, Hard to Watch is supposed to be a great movie. Tracy Jordan wins an Academy... Not gets up for it. Wins an Academy Award.
I'm rewatching 30 Rock right now, so it's just on the top of my brain.
Well, you know what's worse than any of those, though? The Final Cut.
I don't want to rewatch Final Cut.
How about movie 43 with Kate Winslet?
Are you fucking serious? Oh, she was the date for the stupid chin balls.
So, for those of you who couldn't figure out what just happened, I dramatically revealed my phone with her photo in a movie 43 still. I'm very proud of that. Anyhow, moving on to a good movie for today, Friends with Benefits. Who knows how much of that last bit stayed in?
I really feel like everyone in movie 43 were blackmailed. Like, maybe they had nudes on all those actors or something, and that's how they got them to do those things.
I have no idea. It'd be an interesting thing to find out. Friends with Benefits. Friends with Benefits.
Friends?
Chewy, since you were the one who brought this movie to my attention, because I totally forgotten its existence, and you were so good to bring it to us, I will let you do a breakdown.
All right, so breakdown. Little JT is running a online magazine, something, visual art, something. He catches the attention of headhunter Mila Kunis, whose name is Jamie in this movie, and I don't remember what JT's name was, but whatever.
Anderson Cooper.
No. Though I feel like if you dressed him up, JT could play Anderson Cooper.
Yeah. Totally lost in the moment now.
I was just thinking, like, but Anderson Cooper's got a good scowl.
Oh, he does have a good scowl. Never mind, JT, you lost the job.
Okay.
Get a scowl double.
So, JT travels to New York. He's from LA, and Mila headhunts him to work for GQ, and he's not sure if he wants the job, so she takes him out and about in New York, and it makes it seem like he fell in love with New York, but really he fell in love with her. So he takes the job, and he's feeling a little lonely, so he starts hanging out with her. And then they're both like, oh, love sucks. I just want to get boned. So they decide, first off, he is the one that comes up with the idea right away. He's like, do you want to play tennis? Tennis as in sex? And she's all like, nah. And then he's just like, maybe. And she's like, And then she pulls out her little Bible on her iPad because he got an app for that.
Weird moment.
Yeah.
Very weird moment.
It's a weird moment.
So
yes.
they do an oath on the virtual Bible of not messing up their friendship while boning, and then they have a...
And they break that oath, and
oath.
both go to hell. The end. Sorry.
They have a prolonged sex scene where they go through most of the movements, and they just have the most amazing sheet. Like, it covers everything, every moment. JT's even able to pull up his head out of the sheet a few times while the sheet still covers all of Mila's private parts.
You say the most amazing. I think they'd be the most infuriating. Like,
the sheet's everywhere at
like,
every
holy
moment.
crap, this is the most censoring sheet?
Get out of here.
My life has gone PG-13.
Man.
And then Mila decides that she wants to start dating again, and then they hint on the will they, won't they become jealous. And then she breaks up with the guy. JT feels bad, so he invites her to July 4th with his family. Turns out he's got a lot of family issues, and that makes him more human. And then they have another connecting moment. They bone again, and then emotions start bubbling up.
But they romantically bone.
They romantically
It's not just boning. It's boning with hearts.
And then JT
Yep.
puts up his barriers, and Mila is not about that. Goes back to New York, ghosts him. He gets really offended by her ghosting him, and then she gets really angry that he ruins her private place in New York, like on top of that billboard or whatever. Words.
Building.
Skyscraper. And eventually they tie it back to the beginning of the movie with a flash mob where he confesses all of his emotions to her. And then he says, I just want my friend back because I'm in love with her. And then they kiss, but then you're left to wonder, wait, are they going to date or are they just friends that are in love with each other? We're not really sure what's going on here, but they're happy.
Man, they do not stick the landing in this movie at all.
Yeah.
Quick pause. I gotta take
I cannot reach those bottles.
I will get them. You hear those clinking, it's gonna drive me nuts while editing. Yeah, that.
And you kick the garbage can. Those big feet of yours. Once Corin's done tripping over your feet, he's gonna trip over his own feet.
Yeah. That's his problem, though. Okay.
That's the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Your rundown, as entertaining as it was, doesn't quite touch on how just goddamn charming the majority of the movie is, though.
Yeah, I was trying to just do a humorous bare bones thing.
Yeah, like it's not like this is no Academy Award bait. This isn't something you probably want to buy a poster for, but it is a very just kind of charming movie throughout like 2/3 of it.
For a rom-com, I say it's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's not
a rom-com that doesn't have a stupid moment of a woman giving up her entire life to be with some dude.
No, it has plenty of other cliche stupid moments, but it does avoid that one, which is nice.
Yeah,
John,
I was kind of surprised. Yeah, I was kind of surprised while watching this, at least through the first 2/3, just how like the banter was well done. The scenarios felt honest. They worked. The movie was charming. I was really wrapped up in every character's back and forth, as every character that talked with each other was like, I'm enjoying listening to these people talk to and at each other and have these little quips, and nothing felt too cringy. I don't know. I was based off of just not knowing much about it and just knowing that two movies of this type kind of came out at the same time. Yeah. I kind of had some low expectations going in, and I spent the most of the movie kind of disarmed by how much I was enjoying it.
Yeah, like the two of their Mila and JT's chemistry is just kind of off the charts throughout the entire movie. They're really
good with each other.
Yeah, like better than anyone I've seen him in a movie with this month. And he's had he's a very charismatic guy. I've been talking about it this entire month. So he has chemistry kind of with everyone. This is the first time where I've seen it like that, like electric, where they can play off each other back and forth as fast as these two do. Like you actually bought that they're friends, like instantly.
Yeah, their chemistry I think was a lot better than him and I forgot her name in Time.
Amanda, does anyone remember how to pronounce her last name from last week?
Seinfeld.
Nope.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Which brings me to one of the lines I really enjoyed in this movie. It's like, hey, let me show you around New York. Whatever, I've seen Seinfeld.
Honestly, my favorite bit there was like what are you doing? Well, I'm waiting for the light to change. Oh, you LA people are so cute. Hey, shut up.
Which I related to that when we were in Chicago, and I'm like, who ever waits for the light?
Yep.
And now I live in LA, and now I always wait for the light.
I can't help it.
Oh yeah, it's quite the change.
And it's just like hardwired. Like, I have to be in Chicago for like days until I can start comfortably walking like I used to. But it's weird.
Jaywalking left and right.
Oof.
The cops aren't gonna get me here.
Yeah. But back to kind of what we were saying. I agree with what John was saying. Like, I was kind of disarmed by this movie. Like, I had very low expectations. I'm not really a big fan of their genre in general. I've had a lot of people have pointed out the good rom-coms to me, so I've seen them and I've enjoyed them. But if it's not like the top tier stuff, it's not really for me. So I had kind of zero interest in watching this movie. It's just not in my wheelhouse. And just like John, I'm sitting there going, man, I love watching these two just hang out. Like, they're just fun to watch hang out. And then it's fun to watch them bang. And the way they bang is hysterical. Oh, no, do this. Do this.
My girlfriends have said I'm good at this.
Yeah, every girl they all lied. And you can just... they show nothing, but like you can hear how bad he is, and it's just funny throughout. Like all the sex scenes are funny. The parts where like the actual just jokes are funny. Everything just kind of clicked, and I just didn't really expect it, especially because I hadn't heard really beyond Chewie just saying that's not bad, it's enjoyable. I hadn't heard anyone talk about it. Like I thought, if it was this good, I would have heard someone. And granted, yeah, the ending sucks. Like I don't like really any of it.
The ending just really reminds me about how fun flash mobs were for a little bit, and then how they got ruined
by things like this.
Yeah.
Well, but and some of that too is that when they set up the flash mob, you kind of already know like, oh well, that's going to have to play into the ending. So everything else has been so kind of disarming and a little bit on the unpredictable side, despite playing in the cliches. You're like, well, I don't know how they're going to approach this next. Having something so like predictable just turn out the way you would expect, but less interestingly. I don't know. Just the beginning was so disarming and strong that having it just end kind of like a is kind of like when JT was going down on her and he was like, like, okay, well.
Just stop that.
A, B, C, D. What are you doing?
I had the subtitles on for that, and it was hilarious.
That was so good. But yeah, like the flash mob thing at the end, that was cheesy, fine. And it's cheesy that he's doing a whole flash mob to saying, hey, let's stop being mad at each other. Like, okay, I get it. But it just kind of had, the whole scene just annoyed me because it felt like studios versus directors. And I could be totally wrong. I could be totally making this up. But it felt like that whole, like, you have to have a happy ending where they end up together because that's the type of fucking movie we're making, says the studio. And the director is like, no, the whole point is that you can be friends with benefits and then still have a life together. You don't need to end up together. Look, they're going to be friends. And they just kind of ended at, no, they're together. No, they're just friends. And it's like, look, they're together. They don't... But they say they're just friends. It's like, but what?
Yeah.
Who won?
And just
well, according to this,
grumble, grumble, grumble.
There were these one. Oh, they just have repeat. Okay, I thought at first that there was like 5 people that wrote this movie.
I'd be like, oh boy.
They had people that did a story that also did screenplays. So this plays Harley Payton, Will Gluck, the director, David A. Newman, and Keith Merriman. All listed as story and screenplay.
That's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
For a pretty simple story.
So I could almost confidently say there was repeated rewrites on this ending.
Yeah, and who knows? I could be wrong. Maybe this is what the director always envisioned, was this sort of wishy-washy. Like, yeah, they just kind of forgave each other and then just kind of continued with their sort of will this work or won't it work life. Yeah. There is that possibility, I guess.
Yeah, and then in the middle of the movie, like, they kind of shift as they go to meet his parents or his family, and just how kind of poignant and serious that gets, and how, like, I don't know, I wasn't expecting that to also be so well done, so kind of messy in the way families can be messy. It provided some nuance that, like, the ending just kind of erases that, because, like, the whole thing with the Alzheimer's was very, very serious. Like, it was heavy.
Done well.
It was done very well.
So well. And
in like a way that was
really
like heavy and emotional, but wasn't like over the top or like Oscar baity. Like, not to sound rude, but like it wasn't like, look at this guy's horrible struggle. It just kind of felt honest. Like, this is kind of what people go through.
Yeah, and it felt rough. Like the big moment there was him in the airport wearing, like, taking his pants off and sitting at the table with his father for such a moment that's so kind of powerful. Dealing with that topic to then go to the flash mob solves everything and we're dating now. It felt like a weird shift, especially for a movie that was slowly kind of leaving the romantic comedy space.
Yeah, and it also kind of had that weird moment with his brother in the water, where they're going over how much of the family misses him, and they keep talking about how much he misses LA, and it's like, oh, so he's going to quit his job and move back to LA. No?
I think there was a possibility with him being offered the other job with, we assume, Amazon.
Yeah.
Because they sell
Amazon.
Yeah, but it's like, I guess, but it just kind of felt like a weird thing to throw out there and then to completely ignore to go back to the flash mob. Like, they had some really interesting story bits, like with the father with the Alzheimer's, you have the whole family thing. You had what he seemed to have was a pretty good life, and then they just kind of drop it.
Well, because Mila's his soulmate and her home's in New York. So, I mean, usually in these movies, one person gives up more than the other.
Yeah.
It's very rare in a rom-com for it to be equal get and give. Usually it's the woman giving up a bunch of stuff. The guy will have, like, a trophy that he doesn't get or a match that he loses or something silly.
I mean, this guy just keeps his amazing job where he makes a whole shit ton of money and
had a fully furnished apartment to jump into.
Yeah.
Right? I saw that and I was like, well, dang.
Yeah, he's having a real rough life.
Yeah, living in New York. But he's giving up being with his dad, who he loved the most out of any of his family members.
It's a weird thing to throw in there.
Yeah.
There's some weird, heavy story moments that, like, had the movie stuck a different landing, it would have really elevated the movie. Like, really elevated it. So it's kind of a bummer it didn't really work out. But
yeah, and it just, I think the movie that they were starting to go with before they went to a different landing was the one I was still on board with. Especially because that could have then, like, in Imagination Land, caused them to realize they can't be together because they have their own obligations and their obligations matter. And they could find out that they can still be good friends. This didn't ruin their friendship, like that sort of thing. But they find their own other, still. And they realize that one connection they had was a perfect moment in time or something, something in Imagination Land of just, that's how it could have gone based off of where that second act was really taking us to.
Yeah, it just kind of, just a bit of a bummer.
Yeah. But everything before that ending was enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. Like, that's why I don't feel like I got robbed at the ending.
No.
Like, I didn't really like the ending, but it wasn't one of those, like, I'm a very big proponent for a bad ending can ruin a good movie. It wasn't that bad of an ending. It was just kind of like I guess that's the end. It's like how Eddie Izzard enjoys ending his stand-up comedy specials, which he's talked about. He likes to end on sort of a moment. That's what this movie did. It didn't end in like a ragingly bad moment. It just kind of,
I do like that during the movie, you get the thing that that Mila's mom, who, that's not good casting. That woman does not look like Mila's mom at all.
No. She's a great actress.
She's a great actress.
Okay with it.
Patricia
Clarkson?
Yeah, Patricia Clarkson. Wonderful actress. Does not look like she could have spawned Mila Kunis. Either way, that at one point in the movie, JT says that her mom got a hold of his phone and put her phone number in his phone as MILF, which is funny. And then he uses her mom to get Mila to go to Grand Central for this whole flash mob thing, which means at some point he had to call that MILF and then have a conversation with her. No, I'm not going to sleep with you. Because the way they establish her mother would be like, she might still hit on him, even though he belongs to her daughter, whatever. I would have enjoyed that phone conversation.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see it, but I like imagining it.
Or him trying to like explain the situation, but her interrupting every few moments of just like, so when are we going to do it?
I'm still down.
It's kind of like my unsung hero of the entire fucking movie, Woody Harrelson.
Oh,
how he just kind of casually asks him if is he still straight?
Yeah, this movie is everyone's trying to bone JT, except for Shaun White.
Yeah, except for Shaun White, who really does not want to bone JT.
Or maybe he really does, and that's why he gets so mad at him.
He doesn't know what that feeling is.
That's the read, is he doesn't understand his feelings about JT, so it makes him very aggressive.
But my God, I love Woody Harrelson in this movie. Like, we didn't really talk anything about him yet, right?
No, we haven't.
Okay, yeah. So Woody Harrelson he's the sports writer who is a gay man, but he plays the gay man like a sports writer in a very stereotypical like journalist movie, where the sports guy would be like, "What's up, babe?" and just is like very much a womanizer kind of chauvinist prick. And Woody Harrelson plays that, but as a gay man, and it's just not the way I've ever seen this character played. And I found it very entertaining. I hope it's not one of these like wildly offensive things that like me enjoying it, people are like, you need to know why that's wrong. I guess if I am, let me know. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was really great. I loved how he was just sort of like, you're not gay, right? Nope. Okay, just checking.
Yeah. it's funny because like in some of these movies, there's always that friend, the friend of the guy usually, and I'm always hit or miss on those friends. Like if they're not just balls to the wall hilarious or just quippy, it kind of becomes I'm like, okay. Or if they're trying too hard, I get really like, I want your scene to be done so we can get to the important part of the movie. Whereas here, like I was kind of on board with that energy. He was very unpredictable doing that sportsman, like the sports room, like posture and the way he carried himself, and then like saying like, oh yeah, I guess we can bring more women into this photo shoot. I was like, this is hilarious. This is.
Can we just go girl, guy, 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 girl, girl?
Oh, look at you little Christ figure, you.
I also just love that. So what do you think? Too gay? It's too gay. All right, we'll get some girls. I just love that. I just love the first night he asked him out. He's like, we're going to go out and get some cock. Oh, you're not gay? Oh, well, more pipe for me then. It's just like...
It was kind of a blink and you miss it moment, too, because I didn't catch that. Yeah, I didn't catch he was vibing that way at first. I was like, wait, hold on, what? I had to like pump the brakes. Like, oh, you're asking JT. Everyone wants to get with JT. Wow, but wow, okay.
Yeah,
this is great. Just the timing and the awkwardness of JT and all that. It was so funny throughout.
And it's just, I mean, we always know,
but not fake though. But not like fake or too caricaturistic. I don't know. It didn't feel like. That's why I mean, if we're wrong and it is offensive, that's unfortunate. But it didn't feel like it was making fun of him as a character or using a stereotype.
It felt like he was using a very like normal stereotype that people aren't proud of and kind of like spinning it in a way. And I thought that was pretty clever. I forgot what I was going to say about Woody Harrelson. Oh, yeah. It was just kind of a fun reminder of how goddamn funny he can be. Like, because the last thing I think I watched with him in it was Three Billboards out of Ebbing, Missouri, where he's not very funny.
No.
Oh no, he is.
He's rather
his pants
serious.
Are so serious.
He has a few lines that make you chuckle because it's Woody Harrelson, but he's not really the comedic relief.
Yeah, and if you try to do the math on how old his wife is versus how old their children are,
which I think we did on the episode.
And I was just like, oh, gross. Oh, gross.
I'm pretty sure we did on the episode.
Woody Harrelson, no.
And that was all of our responses. And then I think one of us tried to defend it. It's like, well, it's a small town. And there's like, no.
No.
I might have cut all that out. I don't remember.
It's in the B-sides.
Yeah. But it is kind of like this reminder of like, oh yeah, most of us got to know Woody Harrelson as a comedic actor, like, because he's just fucking funny. And like you get that in Zombieland, but Zombieland, I don't know, it's fine. Like I like Zombieland. I don't mean to take anything away from people on that. It's just not my favorite. This is the sort of comedy that I like, of just like, fuck, he can just make anything funny. Mm-hmm. Cool dude.
I just like to think that Woody Harrelson never has to audition for anything.
No, I think you know when you want Woody Harrelson. Yeah,
because just looking at his performance in this, in the Billboards, in 2012, and like anything, it's just like, I feel like Woody Harrelson just does whatever he wants.
I mean, fuck, Hunger Games.
Yeah.
A major character in the Hunger Games movies.
The Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah.
And he's just so good. And I don't know, I feel like I could write something with him in mind and be able to visualize him completely.
Yeah.
Versus some other actors where it's like, yeah, no, this would be a Woody Harrelson type. Like, you almost have to write him as a type, like, because he's got this thing that, I don't know, it's really good and infinitely watchable.
Yeah, like, I always remember when I was a kid, my mom always loved Woody Harrelson. I never quite understood it. And as I've gotten older and just seen how his career went, I'm like, nah, my mom was a smart woman.
Yeah.
She called that one. Is there anything that we've missed in Friends with Benefits that we need to talk about? We talked a little bit how the writing's... It took a lot of writers to do it, but it's very good and it's funny. JT was great. Mila was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk favorite parts. Favorite parts? It's a flash mob, right? For everybody?
Both of them. They're so great.
Flash mobs really got ruined for me.
They were cool once.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be like OK Go videos where they're cool once, then you're like, okay, we get it, OK Go, and then they came back around like, no, these guys are just still fucking awesome. Maybe they'll be flash
get
mobs.
It, you're brilliant. Keep going, more.
Please don't stop. We really enjoy it.
We are so into this. This does not actually get old.
Oh boy, favorite. It shouldn't be that hard. Like the whole movie's very entertaining.
Yeah, I don't. It's hard to choose an exact favorite part.
Well, for it being a romantic comedy, one of the favorite moments of mine isn't really a funny one. It's just how they handle. I think JT just returned home and brought Mila Kunis' character with him, and they encounter his father for the first time, and she's not cued into what's going on just yet, and you can see the pain on JT's face, and I don't know, it hit me unexpectedly. And I was like, that's kind of when I thought this movie might be going in a different direction for the end, and like, oh, we're kind of shifting into something a little bit more deep and poignant, and I don't know, I just liked how honest that scene was.
It's a solid one. I will go probably a little bit on the funny side because I like the funny things. And I think I already mentioned it earlier. The part that made me laugh the hardest and like actually got a legit knee-jerk response from me was when she made fun of LA people for stopping at crosswalks. It's such an easy joke, and throughout the movie there's quite a few digs at us LA people, and I'm like, okay, we get it. The person from New York wrote this movie, or at least they got the final say on all the jokes. We got it. But all of them were pretty fucking spot on and funny. So the first one, of course, being, oh, you LA people are so cute.
I do like the part when they trespass and get on the Hollywood sign.
Oh my god.
And they have the repeating joke of, it's a real landmark.
That's another one of those LA jokes. As the helicopter's flying away, people are spotted on the Hollywood sign, a real landmark.
They're like, oh, they put you in the metallic blanket.
Oh god. The reveal of just the height sphere and having to be airlifted out of there, just
And that moment, though, doesn't live up, though. It's like, you're afraid of heights? What are you talking about? The first night you met her, she took you on top of a skyscraper, and you were cool with it.
Yeah, that doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well.
In context, it doesn't work nearly as well, but in the moment...
It's still a funny moment.
It's still a funny moment.
You know what?
That joke didn't land for me at all.
I'll give him the Jurassic Park wall. It'll be fine. Blaringly obvious, willing to forgive it. Okay. Ready for some double features? You cannot say no strings attached. Forbid it. Unless you want to say it, in that case, just you do you, man. Double features.
I got mine.
Go for it.
I would watch this movie with The Lake House.
Oh, boo.
Starring
wow.
Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock.
Ooh.
Actually, no. Revise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Revise. I would watch this because I went through a phase where I was watching a lot of rom-coms from the 90s. And some of them landed, and some of them were like, this is a turd, why anyone ever like it? And the one that I was the most surprised at was Forces of Nature. So I totally watched this with Forces of Nature, because that was a very much a two people thrown together in a crazy situation movie. But they stick the landing. Like, this one doesn't stick the landing. It's wonderful throughout. Forces of Nature, the middle part of that movie, kind of lame. When they have sex, it's kind of... Well, no, they don't have sex. When they almost have sex, it's really kind of stupid. But at the end, when they do end up as just friends who actually helped each other through stuff, it's great. Like, I love the ending of Forces of Nature.
Wow, mine's not going to be nearly as good as that. God damn it. I'm going to go with a movie that's just endlessly charming, like this one. And just bear with me. I know you're going to be like, that won't fucking work. But I'm going to say Superman the movie. And I'd watch Superman first, and then I'd watch this one. And I'm doing that because of the whole, like, the friendship and the chemistry between Superman and Lois Lane. and it's very energetic, and you love them together throughout, and it's just very charming. The whole movie is charming. Even the stupid end with the turning the world back around to turn back time, it's all just kind of charming.
I think Mila Kunis' character and that version of Lois Lane would actually get along rather well.
Absolutely. I think they would pair well together. They don't make the most sense on the surface, but I think if you watch them back to back, it'd be a good fit.
Yeah. Man, I'm looking at a list of all the romantic comedies, or just a bunch of them, and I'm realizing there's a whole genre I just haven't watched a whole lot of.
Yeah, that's why I just went against the grain. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to pick a good one.
Okay, I'm going to base this off of the chemistry and something Chewy said about Angelina Jolie could have been Mila Kunis' mother, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
And it's just two highly charismatic people in a fun movie that has a good energy to it. And I think just the energy of both of them would sustain through both of the movies in the double feature.
I think that's good. I like that one.
Yeah.
It's another time my mother was a smart woman. We went and saw Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and she went, that Jennifer Aniston's in trouble. I'm phrasing that wrong, but that's essentially what she said.
That's hilarious.
She called it right away.
They look too good next to each other.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's it.
All right.
It no longer gonna be May.
Oh, now it's gonna be June.
Yeah, now it's just June. June is busting out all over. Nobody?
No. I don't know what
old
you're talking
school,
about.
no old school musical fans out there.
What song?
Nope.
What?
June is busting out all over.
Nope.
Okay. Anyhow, I wasn't in that show when I was younger.
That sounds like fat shaming.
It's not. It's about the month of June. It's bursting out. That means everyone gets to go outside. It's warm again. They're gonna have a carnival. There might be a carousel at the carnival. Doesn't matter.
I've never seen that.
It's June now. Well, whenever it's June.
June later.
Sure. So that was it. We did our whole month on Justin Timberlake, though. That was our Gonna Be May. And what do we think? How'd we do?
I like Justin Timberlake.
I like him a lot more now.
I'm not expecting to see him in any serious dramatic roles. Maybe he could play something in a Western, maybe at some point. But a comedic Western. If Justin Timberlake wanted to try to do a Carrie Elwes style role, I could see him doing a great job.
Okay, yeah.
He could give that a shot.
But if he wanted to try to do a Michael Keaton turn into serious drama, no, I don't really see him doing that.
Here's the thing, and this is kind of where I went throughout the entire month. We did a pretty good smattering of his type of characters, of the gangster, the smart guy, the leading action hero, and then the romantic lead. And it's we kind of saw a good smattering of all of it. And where I ended up was, just because he's in it is not a reason for me to see it. But I can't judge his performance based on what character he's given. Does that make sense? If I see Zac Efron is going to be in the next, Martin Scorsese movie, I'd be like, I'm not sure if that's quite in his wheelhouse. I'll give him a shot because I like Zac Efron. I think he's an underrated actor. I'd kind of do the same thing with Justin Timberlake.
I'd be curious, but I wouldn't be expecting any DiCaprio level performance.
No, I wouldn't have my expectations there, but I'd still be willing to give him a shot.
Yeah.
If he went through a casting session and somebody went, JT's our guy on this one, I'd be like, he could be. He kept me guessing enough, and he kept me impressed enough that I'm excited to see, I'm willing to see him at least attempt any role. He can show up. He will show up. He will do the best he can, and hopefully it'll work. But it doesn't always necessarily.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being meaner than I'm trying to be. Hopefully the good stuff's coming across.
Just completely awful and horrible.
I really like him, and I am willing to give him a
guy.
Really like him, and I'm willing to give him a shot in any role, because when he's good, he's great.
Yeah.
There, that's the better way to say it.
Yeah, I think the thing that was interesting to me in all the movies that we watched was that he had the chemistry thing on lock with everyone he was with. And, like, with the exception of maybe In Time, where there was some struggling there, but I think some of that was plotting and direction and not them not having anything to do. He is just watchable. And I don't know, I found it very interesting to see, as an actor, him work with the other people he was acting against, and just what he brought to the table. It was very interesting. It was a very interesting, modern, as I learned from Wonder Wheel, very modern and very energetic thing he brings to the table.
Yeah.
Like, his movies are never really dull, and especially when he's in the scenes, there is kind of an electricity, regardless of the quality of the movie. He just wakes you up in the movie.
Yeah. And I'm very much looking forward to Trolls World Tour.
Yeah.
Because he impressed the hell out of me in the first one. Like, he was a legit
singing
good
killed
actor.
My grandma.
Okay, that seems ridiculous.
I love that line.
But throughout the rest, he was pretty great. Like, it didn't feel like one of those, like, stunt casting where it's like, look, we got the Will Smith fish. It's like, okay, we get it.
Quick smirk from the side of your face.
Yeah, like, this one felt like, he just legitimately had a character to play.
No, I really like his performance in Trolls as well.
Yeah, so I'm into it. I think he's great. I had a good time reviewing him, and
thank you, JT. Please stop leaving me letters and leaving me messages. It's exhausting.
I'll see you in 2021.
At least I can rest.
Yeah, get some time. Yeah. So next month, be sure to tune in for Taika, and I'm really excited to go through all Taika's movies. The first one up will be, of course, Eagle vs. Shark. And the rest of the month, we'll probably go in chronological order of the movies we haven't reviewed yet on this show, because I think there's only 4 of them, so we're going to be fine. But we will start with Eagle vs. Shark next week. And let's move into the rest of the plugs really quick so we can all say goodbye. athpod.com for this show and all of the other ones. Corona Cartoons is back in its new format, which is pretty much whenever I have time to record an episode, because it is surprisingly hard to keep to a schedule in quarantine time. But we're doing the best we can while trying to stay sane, and that last part is the most honest part. But that's everything I have, right? Yeah. So John,
we've got Demon Days every Wednesday, and articles on the website, and man, just athpod.com is a happening place.
Got stuff hopefully around-ish every day, if not every day.
And then that article that Matt's working on about what was it, Doctor Who or something? Wasn't he?
I remember a Doctor Who article, and he said it was done, but then I never saw it. So I guess Matt's a liar.
Liars.
God, fucking Matt, what a liar.
You
know what? I bet Stargate isn't good.
Hey, choose something else. There's more than one person in our area like me that loves Stargate.
God, you know what? I bet Heat is an overrated movie.
I've never seen Heat. Either of them.
Just go down the list of all his articles and be like, that's overrated.
I'm just trying to remember them all off the top of my head. He's written so much.
Well,
all that other stuff Matt likes. Lame.
I would just like to say...
Only okay.
Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye.
I see what you did there. We didn't have like any NSYNC jokes until that.
Wow.
Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye. See you later, bozos.